But what I want to talk to you today about is having a season of selfishness. So many times people hear that and they have a negative connotation with being selfish. But I remember reading Michael Jordan's book probably about 10 years ago, and he talked about being selfish so that you can position yourself to be selfless. What did he mean by that? There would be times where he would go, every day he would show up at the practice court hours before everybody else. He'd practice hard and then still stay hours after to continue practice. Kobe has the same technique. LeBron has a very similar technique. So you have to position yourself to be selfish to become selfless. It's kind of like being on an airplane. You hear the flight attendant, they'll tell you in the event of an emergency landing, what you have to do first is put your mask on before you can help someone else. So of course, as a parent with a small child, it's like, man, that sounds selfish. But how can you ever help your child if you don't put your mask on first? So I'm going to give you guys 5 things that can help you in the season of selfishness. Now, here's one thing to understand about a season of selfishness. That doesn't mean that it's permanent. That's only temporary. Okay, so you got to position yourself to be selfish for a short period of time to get the results that you want to get. So the first thing that being selfish will do, it'll give you a position to be able to reconnect with yourself, to be able to figure out who you are, to be able to re-identify what your purposes were, what your goals were. Because a lot of times we may have set out in our younger years in high school or college and said, hey, listen, this is what I want to do with my life. But then as we got into that, we started losing focus, whether it was starting a family, getting married, just being able to do different things in life where you just got unfocused. But many times, if you just focus from the very beginning in that selfish period, you can now have whatever it is you want so that the rest of your life is good. So one thing that I teach my mentees and things that I learned from my coaches over the years is the faster you attain the result, the quicker and the longer you'll get to enjoy the fruits of the labor. So why work until you're 65 years old and retire? And according to statistics and data, you're only going to live 11 years after retirement. Why only have 11 years when you can just take 2 to 5 years of dedicated, focused effort, achieve your dreams and goals, and now you can achieve the life that you always wanted to live in your mid-20s, in your 30s, and live 30, 40, 50 years doing the cool things in life that you wanted to do in the first place. So that's the first thing, is to be able to reconnect with yourself. Second thing is to be able to rejuvenate yourself. A lot of times you may be winded. Think about walking on a track, thinking about running a marathon. At some point, you're going to get winded. So running a marathon, you pace yourself. You may start off fast, pace yourself, and then finish strong. You may start off somewhat moderate, speed up as you go, and then ultimately position yourself where you can sprint out the rest of the race. So whatever your cadence is, the pace that you decide to go in your race is up to you, but you still may have to rejuvenate in the process. Okay? As good of a player as LeBron is, as good as a player as Michael Jordan was, as good as a player as Kobe was, they can't go the whole full length of the game without coming out and rejuvenating, getting some Gatorade, sitting down, getting a breather, regathering their thoughts. Okay, so the same thing. Now, whatever your rejuvenation process is, whatever you do. And I'll be quite frank with you, I'm not a drinker. Occasionally, like socially, but I'm not a drinker. I definitely don't smoke. But here's what I do. When I do have a drink, my choice drink is Long Island iced tea. Tara has been introducing me over the last couple years into margaritas, but my choice is Long Island iced tea. And it puts my mind at a position where I can really think and focus. What do I mean by that? Well, my brain operates like a Microsoft window. Imagine having like 28 windows open on your computer at any given time, and you just opening tab back and forth. That's the way my brain operates, because I have so much creativity, so many ideas. If you ever notice on my videos, I talk real fast a lot of times. Tara said you have to slow down a little bit, but I got to get the thoughts out while they're there. So what happens is, if I do sit down and have a little beverage, it actually slows my brain down, and I can really focus. I can really think. I can really start compartmentalizing, prioritizing. Just this past Friday or Saturday, whenever it was, Tara and I went out to dinner. We both enjoyed a drink, and here's the deal. We talked about so much stuff business related. I'm talking about they had a live, the DJ there playing music and everything. There was a lot of noise and everything, but I was able to focus. and get tunnel vision, and we start talking about and writing down and taking notes about things we're doing in business, how to strategize over here, how to strategically think about how we're going to make this match up with that's going to equal this. So you got to find out what it is that allows you to be able to decompress and rejuvenate your thought processes. Third thing I want to talk about is by being in a season of selfishness, you put yourself in a position where you can now have personal growth and development. Because again, now that we rejuvenated, we slowed down, we reassessed our situation, now we can start focusing on what I need to do. See, listen, many of you have read all the books that you need to read. Many of you have gone to all the conferences that you needed to go to. Now you may be in a season now where you need to execute on what you've learned. See, I can read all the cookbooks in the world, but until I get into the kitchen and turn the stove or the oven on, it's all for naught. So now you have to get into a position of execution. So that's the third thing. Fourth thing I'm going to say is you got to be able to set boundaries. What do I mean by boundaries? Well, in that selfish season, you have to say no to people. There are people you may have to eliminate or cut off. Whether it's family, friends, could be mom, dad, could be your own children. But at some point, you got to be able to set the boundaries and say, hey, listen, I can't make it to the mountaintop with a big rucksack that's weighing 150 pounds. I need to downsize that to maybe 75 pounds. Or maybe I may need to be a minimalist and drop that thing down to 25 pounds and only take the bare essentials. Just take what you need. See, that reminds me of a trip. You guys know Terry and I, we take date night trips where we'll fly to a different city or somewhere. We'll have a date and we'll come right back home. Well, my next vision and goal is to take a toothbrush trip. What is a toothbrush trip? Where you just literally pack a toothbrush and get on a plane and just go. We'll get clothes when we get there. We'll get new underwear when we get there. We'll get toothpaste, deodorant, whatever. Just take the toothbrush. That's the ultimate way to travel. And then coming back, we'll just ship whatever we bought, ship it back if that's the case. But so what I'm saying is you got to be able to set boundaries to, and here's the deal. One of my phrases is, Tara will tell you, the kids will tell you, I'm always saying train your dragons. You have to train people how to treat you so that they know how you deal, how you operate. Everyone around me know how I move and how I operate. I train you on how to speak to me. I train you on how to maneuver yourself around me. So that's a part of setting boundaries. So again, you have to be selfish in that regard so that you can accomplish what it is you need to accomplish. And then the fifth thing is you got to be able to enhance your relationships. See, when you go into that selfish season, you can now see you have clarity. You can focus better. Now you can start improving relationships because relational capital will always prove more valuable than financial capital. The relational capital is what builds the financial capital. You can have money, but if you don't have relations, you're going to only make so much money. You're going to have a ceiling as far as what you can create and what you can generate. That puts you in what's called a competitive state where you're always competing. So we want to get out of the competing stage and get into the collaboration stage. And now that's when you have synergy. See, a Clydesdale horse can pull about 10,000 pounds by itself. You get a second Clydesdale, he can pull 10,000 also. So you would think they can pull 20,000 together. But collectively, when they collaborate, the synergy is created to where they can now pull 60 to 80,000 pounds with the combined effort, the collaborated effort between the two. So that's why it's super important. So, hey, listen, I want to hear back from you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Chime in on your thoughts. What do you think about being selfish for a season, for a temporary period of time to be able to accomplish the dreams and goals that you are looking to accomplish? All right, guys, listen, the year is moving along. Guys, we're almost done with the first month of the year already. It's like we just literally had New Year's Eve just the other day. And we're already 1 month down almost already. So listen, many of you guys probably had black eyed peas on the 1st of January, probably had the collard greens. Listen, if those checks hadn't started rolling in by now after 3 weeks, hey, listen, put that foolishness away. Do something different. The three things that change for us is what we read, who we associate with, and how we use our time. So if you're not reading the things that move the needle forward for you, change what you're reading. If you're not associating with people that's helping you go further and accomplish things in life, change that group of influence that you hang around. And most importantly, what you're doing with your time, if it's currently not yielding you more money, it's not increasing your net worth, which will increase your net worth, you got to change how you are utilizing that time. Ask yourself, am I using my time at its highest and best use? If not, we got to do something different. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I got a link in here. If you want to connect with Tara and I and our family and get some information about how we operate, how we maneuver, how we succeed at such high levels, and you think that coaching may be a good fit for you, hey, let's connect. If not with us, get coaching from somebody who can make your 2024 a powerful, impactful year, and not just the next year, not just a new year, but make it a new you. All right, guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Make impact, make money while you're doing it.